In the last few videos, I talked about the top coins like Solana, Cardano, Binance and many more. In today's video, I have chosen one specific coin with a very strong use case and a strong technicals. Welcome to Katosh Tubes, I'm your host Paras, and in today's video, I will talk about this coin which is Algorand with Algo token. I will talk about what is this coin about, what is the use case, how it works and price prediction, and definitely should you invest in this coin or not. Before I start the video, if you are new to the channel, do remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive weekly notification. And if you are a reader and wish to read about cryptocurrencies and also this coin, you can click on the link in the description and check everything on my website, which is katoshtubes.com. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. As always, to make things easier, I will present you with a list of topics that I am going to cover in this video. So here goes the list. I will start with what is Algorand. Second, I will talk about what is Algo coin. How does Algorand work? The benefits and drawbacks of Algorand blockchain. Next, I will talk about Algorand ICO, followed by price prediction, the price prediction of Algorand token, the Algo coin, and finally, is Algorand coin worth investing in or you should give it a pass? So let me start with what is Algorand. So Algorand is an open source, decentralized and permissionless blockchain. It was launched in the year 2019 by an award-winning MIT professor named Sylvia Micali. This professor is an expert in cryptography and has received a Turing Award, which is also a Nobel Prize in the field in which he works. Now, along with a team of researchers, developers, and mathematicians, he created Algorand blockchain with one single vision in mind, and that is to create a borderless economy using Algorand blockchain. Of course, the Algorand blockchain supports dApps, NFTs, and smart contract computations. On the other side, Algorand is also addressing the blockchain dilemma, which is scalability, security, and decentralization. Now, Algorand is here to help businesses make a smooth transition from a usual technology to blockchain technology. And also, it is there to help the governments to create a digital currency, which is called as CBDC, named Central Bank Digital Currencies. Now that brings me to the next point, that is what is Algo coin. So Algo coin is the native token of Algorand blockchain. It has a similar purpose which is used for Ethereum ETS token on Ethereum network and Cardano ADA token on Cardano network. So you have guessed it right, Algorand coin is used to pay for the transaction fee which is there on the network. It is used to secure the network and obviously staking. Talking about staking, Algorand uses a PPOS, which is pure proof of stake consensus mechanism. Now that brings me to the next question, that how does Algorand work? So Algorand work in a two-step process. Number one is block proposal phase and number two is block final phase. I have covered both these processes in my article which I have written on Algorand. You can click on the link in the description and read everything about Algorand and this mechanism. Now quickly taking you through these phases, in the block proposal phase and in the block final phase, both these phases use something called as cryptocurrency sortition. In the block proposal phase, a group of validators are selected and a committee is formed. And when the committee is formed, a member is selected to propose a block. This is done on a block proposal phase. Now when a block is proposed, it moves to the next stage, which is block final phase. In the block final phase, again, a new committee is formed under cryptocurrency sortition, and that committee is different from the committee which is formed earlier in the block proposal phase. The role of this new committee is to check and verify this particular block. And once it is verified, it is added to the blockchain. So that is how pure proof of stake works. Now this particular model has something called as player replaceability, which means whenever a new phase is running, a new committee will be selected every time. This helps or this shields the blockchain from possible cyber attacks by reducing the predictability. Now that brings me to the next point, and that is what are the benefits of Algorand blockchain. So one of the key benefits that this blockchain provides which no other blockchain have in common, and that is this blockchain claims to be completely carbon neutral. Yes, it is a totally green blockchain and the emission levels are very low compared to any other blockchain out there in the industry. This is a plus point because the new businesses and the governments want a more greener models. Number two is this blockchain cannot be forked, means you cannot change the codes once it is done. So this also saves this blockchain from possible cyber attacks, and anyhow if there is a cyber attack and the blockchain is compromised, there will be no effect to the transaction which are already taken place on the network because it cannot be forked. The number three benefit is again the transaction speed. This blockchain has a capability to process 1000 transactions per second, which is quite good compared to the current benchmark. Number four, it has a low transaction cost. To create a basic Layer 1 smart contracts, all you need to pay is 0.001 of Algo tokens. That's how it is cost effective. Now coming to the drawbacks. If there are benefits, there will be drawbacks. And the number one drawback is stiff competition. Algorand is one of the blockchain that is competing with the best. And when I say best, I mean the top coins like Solana, Polkadot, Cardano, with the same use case that Algorand is targeting. It is quite impossible for Algorand to beat this competition and move ahead. It has to do something out of the box to beat this competition and increase its adoption rate. The second drawback of Algorand token is again its own transaction speed. Now why is it so? Algorand already processes 1000 transaction speed, but at the current time it is quite the benchmark or a standard. You have Solana that is able to process 50,000 transactions per second, and then you have ETH 2.0 upgrade which is again able to process above 1000 transactions per second. So that leaves Algorand with no choice but to upgrade. And finally, the main drawback of this coin or this blockchain have is a poor marketing and PR activity. Now as a viewer, you tell me, have you heard about this blockchain before you heard about coins like Solana, Cardano or Polkadot, or you have heard Algorand coin first and then you have heard of Solana, Cardano, Polkadot? So this clearly determined that the marketing and PR activity for this particular blockchain is quite poor, though it is financially stable, but it is quite poor when it comes to marketing. That is the biggest drawback. If you want to increase the adoption rate, you must have a good marketing activity. Now that brings me to the next point, and that is Algorand ICO. Algorand is able to raise a total of 60 million US dollar by selling a total of 25 million token at a price of $2.4 per token in the year 2019. It was a success for the company, however, it was a big failure for the investor. Soon after the ICO was over, the price of Algorand token went down to as low as 10 cents, which irritates the investor who has invested in these coins. To counter that, Algorand offered a buyback of the tokens at 4x of their initial price. And at the time of creating the video, almost 90% of the initial ICO holders have sold their ICO tokens to the company. Now this also highlights a kind of failure for the ICO tokens. Now this brings me to the next point and also the important one, and that is about the price prediction of Algorand token. Algorand is one such project which is financially stable and has a very strong team. However, a lack of adoption rate is what leaving it behind. It has a current price level which is dancing in the range of between $1 to $2, and it is consolidating in that area. And there is nothing much that can be done that can help Algorand to go up unless it has something to offer or something big news that it can spread on the internet that increase the adoption rate. So I am quite neutral on this one. I think on the best side it can go as high as in the range of $2 to $5 and then it will consolidate further. If it is not able to maintain the price level of $2 or between $2 to $3, it can go down to as low as 50 cents, just like it did before. Unless it is able to fetch some great projects under CBDC, which is Central Bank Digital Currency Project, only then there should be some positive chances for the Algo token to rise. So that brings me to the final point, is that should you invest in Algo coin or not? So after listening to the benefit and drawbacks and how Algo works, of course you can see the team is strong, the vision is strong, and also the company is financially stable. It has raised a total of $130 million in public and private funding rounds. However, it lacks in adoption rate, and that is a concern. Of course, the increase in competition from Polkadot, Cardano, and Solana and related blockchains pose a threat to Algorand. Unless it comes up with an extraordinary project which can boost the Algorand price, there is no way it can jump further in value. So that's all about the video. If you like the video, do like, share and subscribe, and do watch the videos shared on the screen. I'll see you in the next video with a new content. Till then, take care and have a good day.